Previous video, we defined the average velocity as a consequence of the instantaneous velocity. In this video, we're going to do the opposite. Instantaneous velocity is common to us from everyday life. When we're driving the car and we see the speedometer is pointing at 50 kilometers per hour, we say that's our instantaneous velocity. But actually, it's not such an easy topic. Suppose I'll tell you that some vehicle was traveling north, always north, and it traveled a total distance of 100 kilometers during 1 hour. And I would ask you what was its average velocity during that hour. So the answer would be, obviously, 100 kilometers per hour. However, I can also tell you that, it stopped at a red light at some point, and its average velocity for duration of 2 minutes was 0. So as you can see, we need to take smaller and smaller time frames in order to understand what's the instantaneous velocity. Actually, the instantaneous velocity is defined as the average velocity at an infinitesimal time span. This infinitesimal time span is an abstract mathematical idea and not very applicable to us physicists, since everything eventually in our measurements is finite. Nothing is infinitely large or infinitely small. But it can be big enough to be considered as infinity or small enough to be considered as infinitesimally small. So if you're driving in your car and you're saying that the average velocity during a certain second or a tenth of a second is 50 kilometers per hour, then you say that's accurate enough for me that I may consider that to be the instantaneous velocity. So actually, a velocity is the derivative of the position. You take the final position minus the initial position and you divide that by the time that it took. And that's how a derivative looks. It's one example of many derivatives. A derivative is actually a mathematical idea that we're using here in physics, but we're using it in physics in countless other ways, and it's used in countless other ways in other sciences and economics and whatnot. So a derivative is very important, and we're going to use this concept of a derivative in our future videos.